right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. I'll be joined by Jason Mackey of the Post-Gazette in the studio, and we're taking your phone calls tonight, 412-575-2600. Jason, we definitely have a lot to talk about, but the number one topic in town, and maybe the biggest story nationally, I would think, is Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers. First of all, I just want to get your opinion. Do you like the move? We knew it was going to happen. It's been since March. We've been talking about this. Now it's officially here. They agreed to terms. Pending a physical, which I'm sure he'll pass this weekend.
Yeah, I like it, Rich. I do. Do I think this makes the Steelers a Super Bowl contender? No, I don't think it does. But it's interesting. It's made them the talk of the town, the talk of the NFL. If you think back and we sort of zoom out a little bit, imagine thinking 3 months ago that Aaron Rodgers was going to be the Steelers quarterback, let alone 3 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. It's just a fascinating storyline. I want to see how this ends. I want to see if he has anything left. I think he does have a little bit left. I don't think we've seen the last of Aaron Rodgers. Again, is this going to work out and take the Steelers to the top of the mountain? I'm not so sure, but I like it, and I think given all their available options, you know, at this point, I would have preferred they solved quarterback long term, and we don't have to talk about this, but where they're at, it's intriguing to me.
Yeah, definitely the best option on the table, Jason. There's no doubt about it. And I think he's a better option than Mason Rudolph. I really like Mason Rudolph. I know the locker room likes Mason Rudolph. But let me play devil's advocate a little bit. I mean, he's coming off an okay season, but it was his worst season as a pro, right? Lowest passer rating, lowest loss total. And also, if you look back, he didn't play the year before because he hurt his Achilles. But if you look back to his last year in Green Bay, 8-9. So he's 13-21. As a starter, the last 2 years he started. Those aren't really great numbers, right? There's nothing really to excite you other than what he's done in his overall career. So are we fooled by that?
A little bit, yeah. I think we're looking at the best of Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not sure the Steelers are getting the best of Aaron Rodgers. They're probably getting 75% of Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what the exact percentage would be, but, you know, he's not what he once was. They need him to be good enough this season. You know what else bothers me, Richie, or worries me, is just his age. Do we really expect him to play all 17 games at age 41? I mean, that's not his fault. That's not a quality of player discussion. That's just he's not young. Their offensive line struggled late in the season last year. I'd like to think that they're going to be better with Broderick Jones on his natural left side, Troy Fautanu back, and whatever, but there's part of me that worries about it too. He doesn't have a lot of escapability in the pocket. They're going to need to have a reliable running game. You can certainly question their wide receivers at this point, but I just worry about him playing all 17 games and being able to stay upright.
What do you think the over-under is Mason Rudolph games this year? If I set it at 2.5, what would you say?
I'd take the over.
Would you really?
I would.
2.5. So you think Mason Rudolph
all right, 2.5 games,
3 games?
Yeah, you're saying games appeared in or starts?
Starts.
No, I'll take the under on that. I think he plays in some games. Yeah. I think that something happens with Rodgers. I have a tough time seeing Mason make 3 starts.
Unless of an injury, and that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be healthy enough to make it through 17 games?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big question mark. If I had to bet, I would take the under on that. But, I mean, I don't feel terribly confident there. I think there are going to be issues where Aaron Rodgers might, not be feeling great. And that's the downside of this. The positive is that I do think Aaron Rodgers does have something left. Like, if you look at last year, I know we're talking about it not being one of his best years. Look at his final 10 or 11 games. It's like 18 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He was very good. You could look at that and say, since he got back from the Achilles injury, okay, he finally started to find himself. The Jets' offense was a little bit better, and we saw what I think the Steelers saw that Aaron Rodgers still has left.
That usually takes a year and a half, okay? So I get it. He did play better. That's encouraging. And when you look at that Steelers game, I know the Steelers blew them out, and he threw a couple picks to Beanie Bishop, but a couple of those picks I wouldn't necessarily blame on Rodgers, though. And those picks definitely turned that game around.
Yeah, and I mean, what I saw with Rodgers in that game, Richie, was somebody that was trying to do way too much. And I think that's why we saw those picks. It's going to be a big key for the Steelers to not have Rodgers feeling that way. Like, if you have a running game and you're putting him in second and short, third and short, at that point, you're allowing him to do what he does well. Read a defense. Get rid of the ball quickly. You don't need to throw it 30 yards downfield. We need you to complete the smart 7-yard pass, the smart 10-yard pass. Like, look at later Tom Brady and how those offenses were constituted. He's not getting touched. He's not having any deep drops. He's able to dissect the defense before the ball's snapped. And if the Steelers have a running game, if they have, a dual threat to their offense, he's going to be able to do that.
Don't forget there's a huge difference between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not talking about statistics. I mean, Tom Brady was a workout freak. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is this workout warrior.
No, I don't think he is, but I think it's enough. I don't think you have to be Tom Brady to play when you're 41. I think you need to have some stroke of ability, some stroke of good luck. I think that those are in play for Aaron Rodgers, and I think you need to have enough talent around you. I think that could be in play for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think we know at this point. That's what I was saying earlier. I don't think we definitively know what the offensive line is. I don't think we definitively know, is this defense the group we saw early in last season, or is it the group that got steamrolled late and couldn't stop the run? And all of that stuff matters to Aaron Rodgers. And, hey, there's another lingering question out here, Richie. Their number 2 wide receiver right now is Calvin Austin III. I don't know about you. I don't love it. I don't think he's a true number 2. I think they need to go out and get somebody, and they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, there's no question they have to go out and get somebody. Don't forget about our Xfinity live poll question of the night. Do you think Rodgers will help the Steelers win a playoff game this year? Make sure you scan the QR code on the right-hand corner. It'll be up there pretty soon. You scan that QR code, you vote, and get on board on tonight's sports call, 412-575-2600. Back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night, and you can see from FanDuel, Aaron Rodgers can still be a top 10 QB. That is the big question right now, but look at the comparison. Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen in 2024. Their passing yards is pretty comparable, 38-97 to 37-31. Look at the completion percentage. Just a tick lower for Aaron Rodgers. Passing touchdowns, exactly the same. Interceptions, a few less for Josh Allen, and then bad throw percentage, about the same. So, I mean, they're sitting there comparing him to Josh Allen. I can't right now. Maybe Aaron Rodgers of 6-7 years ago, but I don't know about a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know about that one either, Richie. I mean,
he can't move like him, that's for sure.
He's not Josh Allen. I mean, let's just be honest here. And they don't need him to be Josh Allen. He needs to be Aaron Rodgers. And there's a way for this to work. There really is. I mean, we're seeing some of that with the bad throw percentage, completion percentage. It should be high probability throws. Something that I think is important here, Richie, is Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers getting on the same page. Those two figuring out what plan works. I really hope that Arthur Smith isn't going to roll out the same offense that he did for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. That needs to be an adjustment. They need to cater to Aaron Rodgers. I know people might say, this guy strung the Steelers along for 3 months or whatever. No, he's your quarterback now, and he's 41, and you need to devise a game plan that puts him in a position to succeed.
Yeah, I think there's no question Aaron Rodgers is going to have a lot of say, and maybe that was one of the things that they talked about. He's going to have a lot of say in this offense, and it's going to look a little bit different than what it did last year. Don't forget about our Xfinity live poll question. Scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Will Aaron Rodgers lead the Steelers to a playoff win? Right now, our viewers, 67% say no. Let's go out to Ken in McKeesport. How you doing, Ken?
I was just questioning the broadcast on how they expect Aaron Rodgers at 41 and an immobile Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how to compare him to the Buffalo quarterback, but
yeah. Go ahead, Ken. I think we lost him. Hey, thanks for your call. Call back when you get a chance. Let's go out to Jim in Penn Hills. How you doing, Jim?
Thanks for the time. I'm stuck with a premonition. I have a feeling Aaron Rodgers is going to be another 1975 George Blanda, who was 45 at the time. What do you think?
Look, there's no other quarterback in Steelers history that was 40 years old leading this team. No other player in Steelers history that was 40 years old starting for the Steelers. He's going to be the first. He's in a minority, right, of 40-year-old quarterbacks, and there's only one, I think, that did really well, maybe a handful. You could talk about Warren Moon, I guess, but not many. I mean, history says that Father Time is undefeated.
And it's right. Father Time is undefeated, Richie. And, I think the odds of this working are low, but I think we should also look into the definition of what is this working. If you're expecting Aaron Rodgers to lead the Steelers to a Super Bowl, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. But is Aaron Rodgers going to be a competent quarterback? Is he going to help them improve over what they were? He might, yeah. And I think there are two possible outcomes here. And I don't know about you. I don't know if I see this landing in like the boring, mushy middle like we've seen the Steelers a lot. This is either going to be an epic failure, in which case they win like 5 or 6 games. And you know what? If that happens, that would be thrilling. That would be exactly what the Steelers need. Or they're going to be a little bit better. And I'll actually take this one. Let's say they go 11-6 in the regular season and win 1 playoff game. That is an improvement. I don't know if that's what the Steelers and their fans ultimately want. I really doubt it. But it would be an improvement.
You know, how much of a stretch is it that the Steelers could be Super Bowl contenders?
A very big one.
I know they need another receiver, and I don't have the black and gold glasses on right now. But what if he's a good game manager, which you wanted out of Kenny Pickett a couple years ago? You still got a pretty good defense, right? You go and get that wide receiver. I mean, if you're 11-6, I think you're a contender, right? You knock off a team in the playoffs, and then who knows what happens.
But, Richie, you're telling me so they get a game manager who's 41, and that takes last year's team, which was okay. I mean, they were okay. They were not a dreadful team last year. They obviously didn't finish well, but they had flaws. And you're telling me a 41-year-old game manager with Pickens gone, Metcalf in, they did enough in their like ancillary moves to make themselves a Super Bowl contender? I just can't go there.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to get your opinion on it because I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, but I'm trying to figure out if they are or how could they be. They definitely need that receiver. Let's go back out to Ken and Mackey Sports. Sorry, we lost you. What's up, Ken?
Okay, I'm back on. I was just wondering, I was talking about the comparisons with Rodgers and Josh Allen. The other thing that I want to bring out is how good was the Buffalo offensive line compared to what the Steelers are expecting. They're a young team. They're unproven. I know they were talking about Broderick moving back to the left side, but I don't really see him as a great protector of his blind side. He's a better run blocker than he is a pass protector. What do you think?
Well, look, I think the offensive line is what they want it to be. It's set up how they wanted to be set up. And I think this is going to help Broderick Jones his mental state of mind moving over to the left side, right? I think you'll see less mistakes. That's his natural position. He already said that. Troy Fautanu, we haven't seen him yet, but I heard this guy's going to be a baller this year, and I'm happy with the center and the guards. Yeah, so, I think this offensive line, I don't think this is a problem for this team.
No, I don't think it's a problem, Richie. But I agree with Ken that they're not as good as Buffalo. They're not as good as some other teams. I don't know if I worry about Broderick Jones as a pass protector on the left side. He's lost about 20 pounds. He's looked really good in OTAs. I understand it's football in short, so I'm basing it, more on movement, on hands, on just the overall look of comfortability. And I think Broderick Jones has that. Again, I think they're going to be competent. I think they're going to have a good offensive line. I just don't think it's going to be Super Bowl caliber. I think we agree with that. I just haven't seen enough other moves that they've made to sort of push them over the top.
All right, let's go out to Josiah. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good, and yourself, Rich. Hey, Jason, I'm fired up for this move. He's better than Mason Rudolph. He's better than Will Howard. And let me just say this real quick. I've seen some reports about Jonnu Smith. They got too many tight ends. You got Freiermuth and Donnell Washington. I don't know why they're targeting him. They need one more receiver to pair up with Pickens. I don't know why people are depressed about this signing. It makes perfect sense only for a one-year rental.
Yeah, I like it. And if it's between $10 and $20 million, if it lands in between there, that's good. It's a deal for the Steelers. They definitely need another playmaking wide receiver, whether it's a trade or they get someone in training camp or at the end of training camp that's a cut. I don't know if there's anyone really out there that you really want right now that can help you, but you got to find someone else.
Yeah, I agree with Josiah. I don't understand what they're doing. They're checking on Kyle Pitts, and whether it's Jonnu Smith, Kyle Pitts. I mean, these guys are good players. I'm not disagreeing.
But they're almost like big wide receivers, right? I guess. Why don't you actually get a wide receiver, though? Yeah.
Get a wide receiver.
You lost Parham. So he's done.
What if DK Metcalf goes down? Are they going to line up Jonnu Smith at wide receiver? Like you said, he's still a tight end. You need a wide receiver.
You would think that Aaron Rodgers says, hey, we got to get another wide receiver,
Sure.
right? I mean, he had to have come in here and say, I need another weapon.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not really taking a lot of this talk seriously. Like, you've gotten it figured out with Rodgers, okay. Your next move needs to be getting him with Arthur Smith and say, this is how we're going to do things. And we're going to say, look, Aaron, you want Allen Lazard, you want Keenan Allen, Gabe Davis, probably not Gabe Davis, but, he's going to want somebody, and he should get him.
Yeah. Kirk, out in Manor, how you doing, Kirk?
Hey, pretty good, guys. What do you think? Hey, I'm just asking, do you think the Steelers coaches will let Aaron Rodgers use the middle of the field?
I think they're going to let Aaron Rodgers do what he wants. I mean, I think they have to, right? It's kind of what Big Ben did in the second half of games.
Yeah, and if they don't let him, he's going to do it anyway, Richie.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote this in a column for tomorrow. Imagine Aaron Rodgers having the scenario that Russell Wilson did where he's limited in audibles at the line of scrimmage. You think Aaron Rodgers is going to listen to that?
No.
Absolutely not.
He wouldn't have signed here.
No.
Yeah.
So, they're going to let him do what he wants.
All right, Jason, we got to take a break. Back in a couple minutes.